remember playing Parramatta last year rather, and the spotted player for Parramatta was Piggy Riddell. And they got at him, he'd made 14 tackles in the first 9 minutes. And how did we know that? We were getting NRL stats through the BlackBerry phones and all this sort of stuff. They get up in the box now. And after 9 minutes, Piggy was doing these. He was gone. And up in the box, the messages were going down. They were spotting for him, telling him where he's going, because they were moving him. Hayes was moving him to hide him. And then they were telling him where and the messages were going out, he's here now, get at him. And he went. He was gone. So part of the planning, part of the stats for Hayes and knowing what Hayes would be, that Piggy Riddell was probably there for 15 to 17 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But all of a sudden now, that's an interchange that he hadn't thought about. He's now making an interchange. So that upset all his interchange and his planning of that sort of thing. So obviously there's other stats and information available. As I just said, NRL stats come up with some unbelievable stats, and all it is a matter of clicking onto a page that we have there and click onto a player's name and, you know, what do you want to see? Do you want to see his dominant tackles? You want to see his tries? You want to see his hit-ups? You want to see his missed tackles? And you just click that box and up it comes and there it is. And if you want to look at footage of it, there it is. It shows you footage of it and everything. So that's available, and there are other systems that are used. We have Match Play that we use for the junior reps, which works similar to NRL stats, not as intense as, or involved as what that is, but click on the players, click on whatever you're looking at, and up it comes. And if you want to do an edit on a player, you can do your edits off it, which on whatever area you're looking at. If it's missed tackles, you want to show him missed tackles, you click on that, and then up will come his missed tackles, and then you can just burn that and you show it at training. So there's a lot of information out there to use, but if you're coaching back at the club level, all you've probably got is someone standing on a hill or on the top of a truck with a little camera videoing for you. If you're lucky, they've got a television they can watch and they just move it like that as they go across the field. And I do some stats for a guy, a coach in the local comp in Newcastle, coaches back in the Newcastle comp, and that's the sort of stuff, the DVDs I get off of him to analyse his for him. It's difficult doing stats for him. He wants metres, but you can't do that because you can't see it. The lines are not good enough. The DVD's not good enough. But he still gets limited amount of information out of those type of things. Where are the majority of his coaching? Who's in anyone in New South Wales Cup or junior reps? Junior reps? Yeah. Anyone or anyone Queensland or anywhere like that? Anyone in the Queensland Cup? No one? So where are the rest of us at? Back coaching local competitions, just coaching kids football? Kids football in the bush? Do you have access to DVDs or?
Just as you said, just parents video, and you can get a video and have a bit of a look, which is a good tool.
Yeah.
Sometimes to let the kids see how they perform.
Yeah. So when I first started with it, I had a lady who was the wife of me trainer, and she used to stand alongside of me, and she'd write stuff down for me. So going back in those days, there was no video, I had nothing. All I relied on was my memory. So I would be saying stuff during the game, she would be writing it down. She'd also have someone there calling tackles with her and doing hit-ups. But basically what she was doing, or in completions, basically what she was doing was quoting me on stuff. If I said something about a player, or he's not playing square, he's playing sideways, she would write that down. Then when I go back over her notes, then that become my coaching tool. So it might be you've got to do something like that if you haven't got that availability of something to look at, to help you with it. But you need to make sure that the person doing it for it's on the same page as you. So, and that's what we're talking about there, the interpretation of certain actions, missed tackles, you know, what's classified as a missed tackle. Obviously, if he misses him clean, but if he gets an arm around him and he keeps going, at us, that's an ineffective. You've got to make those. Obviously, bad pass, offloads can be different. You need to have standardised measures that you wish to apply. This is an important one. Who tests? Huh? What sort of testing do you do?
Beep tests and stuff like that.
Strength test?
Strength?
Explosive,
yeah.
Explosive or endurance.
Yep. So that's the norm for junior reps. That's about, you know, where I'm coaching. Although I coach Maitland under 15s in the country championships, which is going back 4 levels of where I'm at with junior reps. So now I'm talking and I'm relating to all the rest of you in this room that are coaching back at your club football. And it's important that you do testing. It's part of stats. I've got some stats here that I'll send it around to you and I'll show you what I do at Hunter Sports with the testing. There's 130 kids in the program at Hunter Sports, from 13s through to 18s. Test every one of them. Weigh them, measure them, test them. Endurance, speed, strength, agility, the whole lot. At Maitland, I do exactly the same. I do a phosphate test. Anyone know what a phosphate test is? I do a phosphate test, yeah. And I've got data on all that now, so I can go, it doesn't matter where I go and whoever I test, I can go back and read it. I'm also involved with Hastings and Manning Academies. We spend some money up there and we've got 14s, 15s and 16s operating up at Taree and the other one, Hastings, operating out of Port Macquarie. And we go up there and we test all them. We do the same standardised testing that we do with the Hunter Sports and that we do back at the Knights with the juniors. The only... Yeah.
What is that phosphate test?
Phosphate test is, it's 20 runs. I should have brought one with me. I've got one over in the car. It's a 7-second effort, a sprint. There is... hats put out, you put a hat there at the start, hat 30 metres away, and then every 5 metres up to 50 metres there's another hat. And they all get on the line and you have a runner and a scorer. You give them a sheet and they're scoring it. And every time they go past the first hat it's 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 8 points, and they get to the 50 metres it's 10 points. And it's about consistency. And the reason why I use it rather than the beep test is because they've got to do 20 runs. Whether they score or they don't, they're still running. At a beep test, I've found, with elite kids even, they'll reach 9 and they'll pull out, that's enough, I've done enough. But with this, they've got to do it. And then what you do is, let's go, 7 seconds, stop, watch, whistle. 7 seconds, by the whistle, they stop. They've got 23 seconds to get back to the line, and you're going again. So you turn around, 30-second turnaround, and they're running again. They have 20 of those. The person they're working with is the scorer, scores them when they go past the hat. Add up their score at the end of it and it'll give you a number. Obviously the best that I've recorded is 154 for a kid out at Hunter Sports. The best I've seen was Lucas Miller at Melbourne Storm. He used to play for us. He left us and went to Storm last year and I read where he ran 176, which is consistently running 8s and 10s to get to that. Maximum score is 200. If you run 20 50s, that is an outstanding. The proper phosphate test is that you turn them around and do it again. And what I found was too big a difference in them, too big of effort. Now I just do the one and that'll give me an indication where it's at. I've got that here. You can have a look at that. Phosphate test, this is a Harold Matthews one. Let's pass that around. It's there, the scores. So what do we use the test for? What's the purpose of it?
Set a benchmark, check them, compare back and
Make sure they're improving.
Yep. So why wouldn't we use them back in the club football? Why wouldn't you? What club are you at?
Bears.
The Bears. So would you use it? Would you do it?
Would I use that one?
Would you use any testing?
Oh no, I'll be with SG Ball. So
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. Yeah. So anyone in the local out just coaching back at the local club football, where are you at, mate? Dapto.
We do some basic testing, but it's not for long. We do a beep test.
Yeah. But still, you're doing it. You're getting, yeah. You are finding out. You find about endurance. Yeah. Well, you know, what I